when it comes to things like pancakes, your Yorkshire puddings, I'm not really interested. I think they're pretty bland, and I think they're basic. And I think if you're like, I love pancakes, then you're basic.
Well, talking to a daughter of Yorkshire, I'll take that back to my people.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yorkshire's got many wonderful things to offer, and I think it's time they moved on from the pudding.
So, Ed, what's the most unacceptable opinion you've ever genuinely held?
That I've genuinely held. Now, I wouldn't say most of my opinions are not unacceptable. I tell you an opinion that comes up on my food podcast a lot that I get dragged for, that people genuinely find unacceptable, is I hate Yorkshire puddings. I think they're a waste of space. I think they're bland. I think they represent everything that's wrong with British ambition.
Are there forms of batter that you feel more warm towards?
Batter is an issue for me, I think. I mean, the batter around a fish and chips, great batter.
A different sort of batter.
It's a different sort of batter. See, and when it comes to things like pancakes, your Yorkshire puddings, I'm not really interested. I think they're pretty bland, and I think they're basic. And I think if you're like, I love pancakes, then you're basic.
Well, talking to a daughter of Yorkshire, I'll take that back to my people.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yorkshire's got many wonderful things to offer, and I think it's time they moved on from the pudding.
I will take that to them as well. Are there any unacceptable opinions you've expressed while performing that haven't gone down as well as you've hoped?
I mean, I'd say I express unacceptable opinions about every town that I'm performing in. I will have a walk around, I'll pick the worst bits of that place and I will tell the audience about them. But I find travelling Britain, most people love that. They want to be like, yeah, it's rubbish here. They want to get involved, but it does feel unacceptable when you're saying it, when you're going, this place is awful, I'm glad I don't live here.
It's just the tourist board who find it unacceptable.
Yeah.
Now, the show does include some incredible comedians.
It really does.
You know, you've got Joanne McNally, obviously one of your team captains, Richard Ayoade, Romesh, you've got Catherine Ryan. Was there anyone who kind of stood out from that you weren't expecting to be quite as good at it as they were?
Well, we've got some newer faces who probably haven't had a chance to do too many panel shows, because it feels like there was a few years where there weren't many new panel shows coming out. But now, I mean, thanks to TLC in a way, they brought Mock the Week back, they've got this new panel show. So Fatia El Ghori, who is incredible and has done Taskmaster, is a total standout, and I love talking to her. She just makes me laugh so much. Harriet Kemsley was amazing as well, and Vittorio Angeloni, who has not done much television yet. I mean, is that fair? But he was astonishing. So yeah, I think there's some really good new faces who really stand out on there.
You were just saying that it seemed like there weren't many new panel shows for a while. You just said TLC have brought back Mock the Week. Obviously, Saturday Night Live UK has had an amazing first run. Does it feel like British comedy's in a healthier place than it was maybe a few years ago? British
comedy's always in a healthy place if you go and see live comedy. It's just what feeds through to television is up and down, and that's based on budgets and all of this boring stuff and who's at the top of the channels. But now I think there seems to be a lot more space for exciting new things happening. Like SNL was such a huge moment for British comedy, I think, and such an amazing cast. And hopefully that parries off into more sketch shows and things like that. I think it's time we saw more sketch on television, but it's incredibly expensive to produce. But I'm glad that they've showed that spending that money pays off, really. But yeah, and then more panel shows. I think it's a great opportunity to get new talent on television and have some fun new formats.
So how did this gig come to you? How did it land on your desk?
My agent phoned me and said they're making a new panel show for TLC and they're interested in you being host. And I said, absolutely. Never hosted a panel show before. Didn't think that was in my future because, as I said, there haven't been any of these new panel shows. So I jumped at the chance because it's good to add a new skill. And also, I've loved watching Dara host Mock the Week, and I've often thought I can do a way better job than that.
Hopefully he's listening.
Yeah, actually I did tell him. I saw him the other day because I did Mock the Week recently, and there were little things that he does. He is just an incredible panel show host. He'll control the panel because, like I say, people are talking over each other a lot. And sometimes like a newer comic won't be able to get in because of someone like me's blathering on. And he's got this amazing skill where he just puts his hand out like that, and the person he puts it towards just immediately shuts up. So I was like, I'm gonna do that when I host. No authority. I've got no authority. I was just doing this, and no one was doing anything.
It is a different skill, isn't it?
It
Hosting.
totally is.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I really like collaborating, and I don't mind when other people are being funny, which is I'm not sure all comedians can say that. So I like giving the space to other comics, and I like laughing at other people's stuff, and I like bringing people in. I really enjoyed it, and crucially, the other thing is I was funny during the show as well, but if I'm not being funny or I don't have anything to say, I can just move it on to the next round.
Yeah, you've got 6 other people.
I'll be like, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap this round up, guys. This one's not for me.
Joanne said something funny in one of the responses in the episode that I saw about the jokes meeting. Is there an actual jokes meeting?
As far as I know, there's not really a jokes meeting. I mean, there are, people write the auto cue, and, you'll sort of, obviously the comedians with the opinions will know what they're going to say to argue those opinions. Unless I'm not invited to the jokes meeting, that's perfectly possible. Leave Ed out of the jokes meeting. He really drags them down. That might be what's happening.
In my mind's eye, it's a very fun meeting. I don't really like meetings, but that one seemed quite good.
No, any meeting between comedians where they talk about jokes is not funny at all. It's someone dryly reading out something they've thought of, and then another comedian going, yeah, that's really funny, but with a completely straight face.
Yeah, I don't want to go anymore. No. Okay. Do you think that this type of show, however it was conceived, does actually say something quite serious about the time that we're living in, where people have an opinion and they want to share it, there's a lot of hot takes, and actually kind of increasingly extreme opinions are rewarded rather than shunned? I mean, it's how you get attention on social media.
Sure. What I would say about our unacceptable opinions is we're not pushing to the extremity that I'm sure, things are happening online. It's a comedy show. But you're right in that I think we live in a hot take culture. People love a hot take, and people increasingly think that their hot take needs to be heard, even though quite often it's a hot take we've heard before and it's gone lukewarm. But this...
Congealed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a congealed take. But this is, I think, not necessarily a reaction to that, but I think it's within the zeitgeist because of that. And I think we have a fun and light-hearted take on it.
Yeah, it's definitely more fun than the Make You Feel Question Time panel.
Yes, as far as I'm aware, we hope.
You've said that it was a perfect mix, I'm going to read your quote to you, of terrifying ego and an astonishing lack of self-esteem that first got you into comedy. You said, I can't tell day to day whether I'm arrogant or I hate myself, but I think somewhere in between...
So I just laughed at something I've said, sorry. I think we know which one it is now.
Well, I won't read the second part then. But I think somewhere in between is absolutely ideal for a comedian. I mean, I read that and I thought you do make being a comedian sound like a sort of form of personality disorder.
Oh, it definitely is. You've met comedians. I think it definitely is. But also, I would say I'm one of the more balanced comedians I know. I'm one of the more normal guys. It's interesting. I think the reason a lot of comedians start young is it's at the age where you don't have that. It's not a self-esteem thing necessarily. It's self-awareness. Right. So if I hadn't started comedy, now I'm 40 now, and decided I want to try and do comedy, I would not be able to do it. To walk out in front of 3 people in a pub and be like, what I'm going to say is funny and is worth hearing, and then doing gigs where you don't get anything and being like, well, I've got another gig tomorrow, so it'll work then. I do not have that lack of self-awareness now. But when you're young and you're like, well, I'm funny, I'll give it a go. That's why you start when you're young. Yeah.
And I guess also that kind of impenetrable self-belief that you have when you're young.
I think totally. I think that, and I would watch comedy and go, I could do better than that. I'm better than that. That's not proper comedy. It's like, I'm 18 years old. I've never done a gig before in my life. I think now, no, I couldn't do it.
It's interesting, isn't it? So you were 18, your first gig?
18 or 19, yeah.
How did that go?
Well, in my mind, great, but probably awful. Luckily, that it was lesser time when people were filming stuff and putting them online. People now, they would like film their first gig and put it online, and I want to take them to one side and go, don't do that. Yeah. You're going to feel really bad about that in a few years' time. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a completely different world in terms of what you're exposed to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Does it vary from day to day whether you're arrogant or you hate yourself?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say, and it's one or the other. It really is. And
it's a pendulum, really.
Yeah, within the course of one day as well. So I could be going to a gig and being like, oh, I've got nothing. This is really bad. I'm writing my new tour and I've got no new ideas. I'm terrible. Why do I even do comedy? And then you happen to have a nice gig and you come off going, I think I'm the best in the world.
Wow. Wow.
It'd be nice to find a middle point somewhere.
Does it bother you, that kind of riding, you know, I guess your own level of self-esteem and self-belief off the reactions of others?
Yes, to an extent. I mean, I'd rather not. I'd rather just have, oh, I'm going to try this tonight and it might work, it might not. And sometimes I hit that point. And actually, when I get out on tour, you've caught me at a point where I'm preparing a show to go out on tour next year. When I'm on tour and I know the show's good, that's fine because I'm just traveling place to place to place. I'm doing the show.
Slagging off their towns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Your town sucks. Here's my show. But, and then the reaction matters slightly less to me as well because I know it's good. And as long as I perform it to the best of my ability, if they're a bit of a quieter audience, I've learned they're often enjoying it like as much as a massively loud audience. Because I'll come off stage and go, God, they were a bit quiet. And then I'll get more messages about that gig than any other gig on the tour. Going, we had such a nice time, thank you.
Isn't that interesting that you can't gauge in the moment how it's going? Because I would have thought, never having done stand-up comedy, that you would know, that you would get in that back to, like, people talk about the theatre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a dialogue with the audience. Is it not that much of a dialogue then with live comedy?
It totally is a dialogue, but I think just some audiences, just for some reason, have a completely different understanding as one. The audience turns into almost one being when you walk out onto the stage, and they decide together what the volume level is.
Right.
And if I'm stood there being like, they're not laughing as much as normal, they're not as loud as last night, you can never tell. You can come off stage and people have absolutely loved it. They're just not as loud.
Not allowed. Does it vary regionally? I can imagine there are some noisier regions and towns than others.
Oh, definitely. The audiences there's places I really look forward to going to. So, like Bristol is an amazing comedy town. They're a very vocal audience and they know their comedy. Glasgow, you never know which way Glasgow's going to go. That's the exciting thing about Glasgow. They are amazing. If you get them, it's the best gig on the tour. And then, you know, I go to Dublin on every tour now. Those gigs are absolutely amazing. So there's some places where they're very comedy savvy and they're there for a good time and it's fantastic. And then there's some places that completely surprise you as well. I'm doing a theatre on an industrial estate somewhere. And they're delighted you've come. So.
Well, I would be if I was having to go to a theatre on an industrial estate. So, Ed, I mean, the other big thing that people obviously know you for is food. And, I mean, gosh, you've got so many different fingers in pies and, I mean, not literally, but like in terms of...
I have in the past, when I was a Great British Menu judge.
Many fingers in pies. Your memoir is called Glutton, The Multi-Course Life of a Very Greedy Boy. These days you channel that gluttony into your job with Off Menu, judging Great British Menu. If you had to choose between food and comedy, which would win?
Well, I guess probably not the answer you want. It would have to be food in terms of survival, I suppose.
I mean, literally.
Yes.
Yeah. Man cannot eat comedy.
Yeah. But I do absolutely love doing comedy. Like there's the reason I do all of this is so I can perform stand-up live. And, you know, I'd probably pick comedy, which is an awful thing to say because when I have a good meal, I get goosebumps. And I don't think doing comedy has given me goosebumps before. I think it's just self-satisfaction. But when I eat something fantastic for the first time, I genuinely get like shivers and chills. And I have to vocalise how much I like it, which annoys my wife no end.
So you lost 7 stone very impressively in your early 20s, which you write about in the book. But you said in an interview that you still have a fat man brain.
Yeah, totally.
What do you mean by that?
I think now the term is food noise. I believe that's the term,
very common term now with GLP-1s.
And I definitely have food noise. I'm thinking about food all of the time, but I would frame that as a very positive thing for me because I've worked out a way of having the food noise and not just eating all day, which I used to do, absolutely. Like I'd have to satisfy that noise all of the time. But I had to really change my lifestyle and bite the bullet. But I've got a huge amount of sympathy for people going through that because it's an incredibly hard thing to resist.
So you never thought about quieting your own food noise with any of the...
No, well, these are such a relatively new drug, right? But I've got total sympathy for people who use them, and I know people who've used them and they've genuinely worked for them. So.
Yeah. Do you think the ubiquity of them has made it less acceptable for people to be overweight, and particularly in the public eye?
It's interesting because I think whatever people do, there's some level of unacceptability now when people are just like, you know, people who use the GLP-1s, people who don't use the GLP-1s, people who are overweight, people who are underweight. You can't do anything without people having some sort of hot take on it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think we just need to leave everyone alone and let them get on with their own thing.
Absolutely. I don't want to sound impertinent in this way, but you look great. Do you think you would be as successful on TV now had you not lost that weight?
No, absolutely not. I don't think so. I think, so when I'd lost the weight, the first thing that happened was I got a part in a show in the States, and I don't think I necessarily would have got that. And that's always made me feel slightly uncomfortable, the idea that I had to change my body to get on television more. I think, I'm sure things certainly would have happened, and I think I'd still be working, I'd still be doing comedy, but I'm not sure whether it would be on television to the same level.
Does that bother you?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, I certainly don't feel guilty that I did that I lost the weight, because I had to for the health reasons anyway. But I find it sort of darkly fascinating.
Yeah. It says something about us as a culture.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned the health reasons. You were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when you were quite young.
Yeah.
For someone who enjoys food as much as you do, and I did read that you once ate 4 pizzas in a day at university, which probably wasn't ideal
Very
for
proud.
Diabetes.
No, not at all.
Do you have to be quite vigilant and quite careful every day?
Yes, totally. It's like having an extra 24-hour job, being type 1 diabetic. So you're constantly looking at your glucose levels. Essentially, I've got a thing called a Dexcom G7, which sends my glucose levels through to my phone, which has sort of changed my life, really. And I can see whether I need to inject insulin or eat food. So I'm very vigilant about what I'm doing with that and what I'm eating and being careful with that. It doesn't limit me in what I can eat, but it just makes me think about it in a different way for different reasons. And actually, it's made me appreciate food way more than when I was just like eating ravenously and blindly and just grabbing whatever I could.
Yeah.
Now I really think about what I'm eating, and I want the best stuff, and I'm excited for it, and it's really made me get into it.
We all enjoy boundaries, even when we think we don't.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm a total dweeb. I love a boundary. I love it when someone tells me what's happening and what I need to do. And I go, I did that right, didn't I? Such a nerd.
So you also present Traitors and Cloaks, of course. I have to confess, I'm the one person in the world who doesn't watch Traitors.
No, you are not the one person.
Sorry, Claudia.
You're not the one person. There are many people who don't watch Traitors, and they absolutely love telling you they don't watch Traitors.
It's true. We are a rare breed. Yeah. How do you explain this? So, I mean, it's so astonishingly successful. I mean, my friend went to a Traitors experience on the weekend for her 40th birthday.
I've done it.
It's a juggernaut of a show.
It really is, yeah. I mean, it's huge, and it's huge globally as well, like the British version and the multiple different versions that they've sold throughout the world. It is, for me, what I love about it is it's a parlour game with a huge budget. So this is the sort of thing you could play at home with your friends, and there are many different versions of it. You can buy a Traitors game. You could play Wink Murder. Like it's that sort of thing, but it's just huge. It's so immersive. It's beautifully shot. Claudia is just a hero. She's so fantastic. They cast it so well. It's in the Highlands of Scotland. It's the most delicious show to watch, and I feel so privileged that I get to watch it for a job and then talk about it.
Are they going to get you your own cloak at some point?
Those cloaks are very expensive. I've worn the cloak a few times for photo shoots. They're incredibly heavy. They are high quality. You know, this is no sort of like sheet from around the back of the set. This is high quality velvet cloak. I would absolutely love one, but I would wear it around the house like a dressing gown.
Well, we'll put that out to the universe for the next season.
Thank you.